Hey everybody, this is John Costigan, and this little segment's called Know the Financial Impact. And I would tell you that I've done a very poor job at that, especially earlier in my life, of understanding the financial impact to a customer not moving forward to fix their problems. And I'll give you a real life scenario with me. When I first started at my company, I had an accountant, and I remember she told me, hey, you need to get your taxes in on time, or you're going to have to pay penalty and interest. And of course, whenever you deal with the IRS and then the words penalty and interest, that just sounds scary, right? And let's just throw the word audit in there while we're at it, and now you're freaking out, right? So, and prior to that, I was always working for large corporations where it was always being deducted out of my check, right? So this was me now going, okay, I have my own company. I need to get this information together, right? So she kept bringing this up to me. Finally, I said to her, and this was maybe after our third conversation, because I realized I wasn't going to be able to get all this information. And I was talking to some other small business owners, and they're like, hey, well, just get an extension. I mean, it's pretty common to do that. So I called her back and I said, hey, really quick, and her name was Terry. I said, Terry, how much is the penalty and interest? And she gave me the number, and I won't share it with you, but I will tell you one thing. I was like, that's it? That's all I have to pay if I'm late by a quarter? She's like, yeah. I go, God, Terry, I thought the sheriff was going to come and put me in handcuffs. You were going to take my kids the way you said it. It's like, and I understand that she's an accountant and she's doing her job to let me know, hey, this is what you might be up against. Let me stop that story. I only say it because it made me realize that if you don't have a big financial impact, sometimes you're not going to close this deal. And what you need to do is you need to ask that question. And a lot of times they may not know it. They may not know, especially if you're saving time and how do you equate time to the people focusing on a project and things of that nature. I get it. It could be difficult, but if there isn't a big financial impact where you can't give them an ROI that says, oh, if you do this, you'll get this much back, which, by the way, a quick little tip, make sure you do the ROI with them. Don't you do it on your own. When you do, they look at you going, yeah, those are your numbers, not ours. If you ever do one, do it with them. Like you roll up your sleeves and you sit down and you go, let's look at the financial impact to this. And if it's not that big of an impact, then you got to focus on how this affects them emotionally. Remember, people buy emotionally, justify logically. So if it's not a big impact, then you have to say, well, hey, listen, Bob, let me ask you a question. How is this affecting you just in terms of your role and your responsibilities and maybe the other stuff you can't get to? What about the time you're spending on this? Have you been able to shelf this off to somebody else so maybe you can get back to focus on what you probably should be focusing on? I mean, can you walk me through that? I've had a lot of success with, there might not be a huge financial impact because you can't find it, but the personal impact was huge and they did it anyway. So at the end of the day, just FYI, that's my lesson to you, okay, is that know the financial impact. And if it's a big one financially and you get them emotionally, you got it. But if it's not a big one financially, then you have to focus on the emotional side of it. But at the end of the day, just find out what it is, or else you start running around like me, being all afraid, thinking I'm going to get arrested, and it's really no big deal. So, and by the way, I love the IRS. It's all good. Don't want to, we're all good paying my taxes. Okay, guys. Yeah, don't want to leave a message with the IRS here on YouTube. But anyway, good selling, everybody. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, John Costigan here. The toughest part to any sale is getting in the door, right? Tell you what, click on the URL below this video or go to costigantraining.com/free week. Take the first step of solving this huge problem of getting in the door. It's 5 days, 5 clips, less than 5 minutes. Click on the link. We'll see you in a few seconds.